International Trade Focus is brought to you by Ghana Free Zones Authority and supported by GOIL and Agricultural Development Bank.
Coming up on International Trade Focus,
we have an exclusive interview with Mr. Anthony Sekpa, the president of the Federation of Association of Ghana Exporters, on the current state of Ghana's exports industry.
Ghana, like several other emerging economies and third world countries, has one distinguished feature, and that is the fact that for decades we've been experiencing trade deficits. What this means is we import more than export, even though we seem to have turned up the scales in our favor by experiencing trade surplus by the end of 2019. Experts have attributed this to the rise in the price of crude oil on the international markets. Experts believe there's a need to boost our exports base and, if possible, diversify in order not to overly depend on a single export commodity. Now, as promoters of international trade business, today's edition of International Trade Focus will take a look at our export earnings as a country and, most importantly, the many benefits we stand to gain as a result of that. International Trade Focus is brought to you by GOIL, Good Energy, and the Agricultural Development Bank, Truly Agric, and more, and also supported by Pediase Valley Resort. My name is Anna Spio. Stay tuned. Ghana is presently ranked the 70th largest exporting economy in the world. The country's annual export earnings exceeded $19 billion by the end of 2018. Even though this performance cannot be said to be abysmal, economic and trade experts are of the view that the country is nowhere near its full potential considering the export opportunities available to us. Having come to the realization that there was too much dependence on a few exportable items, mainly cocoa, gold and timber, which were referred to as Ghana's traditional exports, some steps have been taken within the last 2 decades to diversify our export products. This approach has been to identify new exportable products different from what we are used to and which have since been referred to as non-traditional export products, some of which include fresh vegetables, tubers, fruits, nuts, edible oil and frozen foods. Even though the effort to increase diversification of exportable products is being pursued vigorously by the private sector, the government, on the other hand, has indicated its readiness to champion this cause. In an exclusive interview with the Deputy Minister of Food and Agriculture, Honorable George Odro, he threw more light on government policies and initiatives to enrich the export sector.
There's a program granting for export and rural development. Basically, these are only the cash crops. Over the years, Ghana has been relying on cocoa export for quite a long time. But we have realized there are some commodities which we are not producing as much. And if care is taken or we draw attention to that area, we'll be able to export same as cocoa or even more, to add more export of our commodities into the country. That will help us to earn hard currency. That's what we've been doing. In fact, we have challenges when it comes to the currency issue. So we're able to do more export. That will help us to, our city to be strong. That's why in the wisdom of the president, he brought this idea about this planting for export and rural development. Basically on the cash crop. That is cashew, coconut, mango, pawpaw and other things. So now what the ministry is doing that in conjunction with the Ministry of Local Government, there's one deputy minister called Honorable Collins team. The Minister of Food and Agriculture has put him in charge of this program there. The reason is that we are doing this program with all the district assemblies in the country. Now we are giving seedlings of cashew, coconut, mango to these district assemblies, the DCs. And then with the collaboration of the district director of agriculture, they do the nursery and then supply these seedlings to the farmers free of charge. All you need to do is, my name is Ejeni Mwati. I'm from Nkranza. I want to do 30 acres of cashew. Then you go and register at the district assembly, the DC, and the district that of agriculture. Then they will tell you, if that is the case, you need, let's say, 2,000 seedlings of cashew. So come for them, then they will give you a tag. So when the tag can go, they will give it to you for free. You are doing this because by the next 2-3 years, then the cashew, it's a cash crop, so it takes some time before they start fruiting and then harvesting. So by the next 2-3-4 years, we'll be able to map up more cashew and export in addition to cocoa.
Currently, several agro-processing companies, such as Blue Skies and other companies under the Free Zones program, are processing products before exporting. Perhaps one area of agro-processing that has attracted so much investment is cocoa processing, where several companies are now engaged in the processing of cocoa beans into several products before exporting. Notable among these cocoa processing companies are Plot Enterprise Limited, Niche Cocoa, and Ghana Processing Company. The managing director of the cocoa processing company, Ejeni Mwati, took us through the various stages of cocoa processing and the figures involved.
When you come here, for example, we have it just like this, where we would have had the raw beans in this state. So with these raw beans, it's just like it's come. Then what would have gone through the processes would then take off the shells. So this is how the cocoa shells, and this can be used for manure or for power generation. Okay. So with this level, you come to the next level of the winnowing and the breaking of the nibs. So if you get these nibs, then you then press this. So from all this stage to this level, 20% would have gone off of the level. So we are left with 80%. And it's this 80% that you press to get the cocoa liquor. So this 80% is what then you break up of 46% of this and 54% of this as cake. So this is butter and this is cake. So it is from this cake again that you press to get the powder. Okay. So this is just be packed, which is like the royal, and it should have the industry benchmark is 10 to 12% fat. You then add sugar and any other thing, depending on where you want it, and that's why you have it as a drinking chocolate, or in our case we call it all time. Or the other institutions where the Cadbury's, the Milo, and all this is where we would have used this same one, adding the milk sugar to get it all time. So this is that level here. But when you want to get it into the added value into the process, is where with this and this, you get it for the milk chocolate. But with the dark chocolate, it is only this. So that is how the process is. So it's like the first stage of a semi-processing and the final stage of this. And in any of these levels, it is better than selling it in the fields. Even if we do it at this stage, which most of the processing companies are doing, save only CPC and niche, we are doing to this level. At this level, even if I buy a ton of cocoa, you use 2.75 tons to get into either this level. So granted that even if you haven't at a price of 1,008, we call something the industry benchmark of a combo ratio. The combo means that what would you have had out of these from the bean? So from that 2.75 tons bean that you process to all this, including your cost of production, today the futures market will give you a combo ratio of say 6,001. But that's, you can even have it at 6.3 or 6.4. That is even when you are processing here. For the Belgians, Switzerland, and any of these, the whole world chocolatiers to come and buy, you are having it like this. So it means that it is better, more money added on when you are getting it here. Same product, and that is how we are getting it. you move from here, you need 1 ton of this butter and 878 kilos of this will give you 4.68 tons of chocolate. So when even we translate again into figurative terms, granted that this is $5,300 and you have this as $2,600, the total aggregate of $7,009. And for purpose of this card, let's round off to $8,000 to do the 4.68 chocolates. And as I've been mentioning everywhere, CPC, I will not give reference to anybody. We sell a carton of chocolate at 406 cedis. That 406 cedis, because it's a free zone industry, when you sell 30% less, you pay some money. Because as much as possible, the less goal is to improve. So we take 255 and 151 is for tax. So 100 cartons make a ton. So this 255 cedis times 100 is 25,500. If we use today dollar at 5 cedis to a dollar, it means $5,100. $5,100 times 4.68 is $23,898. So you have between the two, 1 ton of this, 878 kilos of this, or round off say 900 kilos, will do 4.68 tons chocolate. So this together, as a semi-finished even here, I've decided to bring it to this level. The 8,000 is bringing me to $23,868. That is the difference.
As Ghana battles to stabilize the city and boost businesses' confidence, industry players in the international trade arena have argued that one of the most effective ways to boost economic growth is to increase our export revenue.